Hi there and welcome to Storytime with Uncle Bill. And today is I don't even know, 27, 28, fit in the year, road to six-pack abs. Do know we will be doing shoulders today. Before you do any workout, consult your physician. Make sure you're hydrated, maybe ate something in at least 2 hours. Warmed up a little bit, maybe walked around, did a little bit of this right here, whatever you do. Maybe stretch afterwards. And come up here with a positive attitude and ready to work out for the better of everyone, especially yourself. Got a crazy story for you. Right before I had my daughter, so I was about 18 years old, back in 90, 94, 95. I had got a letter in the mail telling me that my license had been revoked because I had a failure to appear on a inspection sticker in Maysville, which is probably like 15, 20 minutes away from where I stay. And I just totally forgot about it. And I had 12 points on my license from speeding tickets. And in the state of North Carolina, they automatically put your license on suspension. So if you get in any trouble after that, they take your license. So I was informed, let's just say it's July 2nd. At 12:01, July 3rd, my license was no good. So I knew that 2 weeks prior. So what I did, I went and got a duplicate license. So when I went to court, they took it. I still have another one I drive. It was illegal, but I was going to do that. And I had some warrants out for some bad checks. Probably maybe one of them was mine, but about 10 of them wasn't. And they were high dollar too. You can do some, I'm not really sure what they're called, but I call them forearm to a shoulder press. Out. That's how I was running from the cops. 18 years old. Good way to start out. Just dropped out of school. At 16 to be a manager at Bojangles. And that's where we are, and it's Friday night. Normally I would get some Zimas to drink because I didn't like anything else. I didn't. And the only time I drank liquor, I get drunk to get drunk. But everybody came over to my house. So it wasn't even my house. My buddy Buzz came over to my house to party because you could do whatever you want over there, you could do it. I don't care. Just don't affect nobody else. Have fun. We did crazy things. Real crazy thing. So on this particular night, I had sent this dude on a beer run. And they didn't have anything for me to drink. So I didn't drink. And one of the reasons why people came over to my house is because you could do whatever you wanted. So there'd be everybody smoking pot and drinking. But there's people doing coke, there's people doing crack, there's people doing crystal meth, quite a few people doing mushrooms, ecstasy. It was there. I mean, it wasn't like a big pile of it and stuff, but they knew you can come over there and do it. Now there wasn't no shooting up. Never had no shooting up. There was no heroin. It's like you can have crack, but you can't have heroin. Crazy, ain't it? We're gonna go behind the back now. Same press. All the way there. Now, if you can't do this, or if it hurts, if you can't do this or this hurts, don't do it. Don't do anything that hurts. Just try it. But it's not important. This is one of those moves that it's not all that important. So I've always been a designated driver. That's why I really don't like to drink. And nobody had anything going on, and everybody that did have parties, that was coming over to my party, so it really wasn't nothing to worry about. It was like a free day. But one of my buddies called me up, and he had all kind of party favors. He's always loaded, and he's a good dude. Stayed out in Richlands. Matter of fact, you ain't got to know C-Bone. That's my dog, man. So he calls me. I was like, "Yo, Billy J, what you doing?" I said, "Man, doing it up, dog. What you doing?" He said, "I'm drunk, man. I want to come out there." I said, "I can make that happen. Don't worry about it. Give me a minute." So my buddy Pat, he was parked behind me. He had a Geo Tracker. Oh, man, you can feel that. So I was like, "Yo, Pat, come move your junk." He's like, "Man, just take it." I was like, "All right, that's what's up." Now, mind you, I got 1,000,000 miles on this tracker. So I hop in, and I've been a mule my whole life. And if you don't know what a mule is, that's somebody, and I didn't know what a mule was neither until I got busted with all the weed. Somebody who transports illegal materials around. Mule, donkey, call me a burro. But I always loved driving. When I was locked up, one of the things I missed the most, besides family and friends, just loved the open road, man. You know, it's not hard to obey traffic laws, you know what I mean? And nobody knows what you have in a car, even damn cares till a cop pulls you over. That's why people freak out. Matter of fact, that pulling over stuff, man, you get pulled over from a cop, or you're in the presence of a cop, man, you shouldn't act ignorant or try to run or do anything. I mean, time has shown it's never worked out in anybody's favor, and the consequences is actually deadly, more so than now. Being somebody that's been on the other side of the law most of my whole life, I had a hatred for them. The F the police, pigs and all that other stuff. Man, I got friends that are cops, and I can't hate them because of their job. And you shouldn't either. I mean, you got to remember it's a job. You know, it's easy to think that they only have the job so they can bully people around, and they're causing more bad than good. And I mean, I can see it. I felt that way my whole life, but it's hate. It's hate for a job or a person from a job. It's no different than any other kind of hate, like sex and race. Anything that you can hate, and you're hating somebody. That when somebody's breaking into your house, somebody's raped one of your women in your family, somebody's done something bad to you, you call first. A good majority of people, I try not to. Once you get them involved in your life, and once you get behind that wall, like, everything changes. And nobody could ever tell you. You can watch Scared Straight and Locked Up and all them other channels, all the YouTube channels that talk about prison and stuff. There is no duplicating it. It's all horrible. Even on the best days, it's horrible. And I'm running from the cops. About to go pick up my buddy because he's too drunk to drive, and thank God he called me. There's a survey that says most accidents happen within 5 miles of your home because you're most comfortable. The speed limit was 45. I had cruise control on 47. I had my seatbelt on. There was nobody on the road. It was a 5-lane highway, meaning it was US 258. 2 lanes going that way, 2 lanes going this way, with a turning lane in the middle. High beams on. On the outside, the fast lane, I passed a little restaurant. I'm coming up to Baker's Restaurant. I'm coming up to Henson Arms. It's an apartment complex. I'm jamming out, singing loud as hell, full attention to the road. Boom! What the hell? Wasn't much of a hit. We're gonna do some Arnold's. Come in. Out. I was like, oh man, what was that? And this is a little bit out of the country. Not country, but right on the edge. Could have been a raccoon, a possum, turtle. There was the cemetery's right there. It has a pond. There's a creek on the other side. I drove up about a quarter mile, and I'm half a mile from my mama's house right now. Drove up a little bit. I had a bag of weed on me. I had a quarter bag of weed on me. I threw it out the window at Ferris Welding. You can see the apartments from there. So I go park in the middle of the turning lane and hit my flashes on. And when I get out and I go in front of the vehicle, when I got out, the first thing I heard was, "Oh my God, he's dead! Oh my God, he's dead!" Loud. It was loud, folks. It was loud. If you ever watched a movie like where somebody gets run over or shot and the mama's screaming, it was loud. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Now remember when I started this story, I told you that my license was going to be revoked at 12. This one. So I go over there. I start walking to the apartments. Nobody on the road. Oh man. I see a dead in the about a light. Looks like a golf ball hit it. The woman's yelling loud, folks. It's so dark out there too. You gotta go up this little hill thing. It's not very big, but as I'm running up, there's a water curb, a water gutter. I see there's a black dude with no shirt on laying right there. Doesn't even register, nothing registers to me other than this dude's sleep. why are you sleeping? Hey, man, you got to get up. I started kicking his foot. Hey, man, you got to get up. You can't sleep in the road like this. And now it registers like while I'm looking at him, there was a silence. Probably wasn't. But maybe my mind was registering and my brain wasn't. Oh my God, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. I was like, hell no, I didn't run this dude over, man. Are you kidding me? So I go running over, and I can't even see nobody. I got bad eyesight. I go running up on the thing, and I see the woman. And she just yelled at me. She is hysterical. And I said, oh God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And she snatches me up. Big hug, man. Pouring tears. It's not your fault, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Oh my God, he's dead. Oh my God, he's dead. It's not your fault. And I was like, man, I gotta get this dude some help. He needs some help. So the apartments was probably only like 30, 40 feet away. And she yelled so loud that as I was walking up the whole time, lights just was starting to pop on and people started coming out of their houses. So I ran and somebody had just about to open their door and I pushed right on through. Excuse me, I need to call 911. I'm so sorry, man. There ain't no telling what could have been behind that door. Especially in that area right there. Man, I had friends that sold drugs out of there. Could have got shot the hell up. Not by them, but you know what I mean? If I didn't know, you know what I mean? There was a phone on the wall. Had a cord. Bet some of y'all ain't never seen that. I ran over there. First thing I did was call 911. I was like, yeah, man, I'm right here in front of Hinston Arms on 258, right across from Baker's. Man, there's a man in the rain gutter. I ran him over with a geo tracker. He needs some help. I've been told never to move him. And if I was really smart, or anybody was smart, they would have ran over there and stood. And I never thought about that. I've even told this story a couple times. Somebody should have stood there and made sure he didn't get run over by somebody else. You know what I mean? How crazy would you think about 20 years, 30 years later? It's about 30 years now. It was like, hey, we already got the call. Somebody's already on the way. I was like, oh, that's good, that's good. Need that. So the next person I called was my mom. Because my mom and them was just getting ready to go to work. They went to work at 2 o'clock on a Saturday. So it's like 1 o'clock. And I got a hold of her and they would just get ready to leave. They were going to leave early. I was like, yeah, man, I think I ran this dude over. I said, I'm everything's legal. I didn't do it on purpose or anything. I didn't know what happened. But it's not going to look good for me. I said, so when y'all get off work, call it also County Sheriff's Department. See if I'm in there. Because there was bag phones and stuff, but there wasn't really nobody had cell phones. They did. But you know, it was hot all. I'm going to do some reps and I'll hold it. This is actually Dole, strawberry lemonade, and Tropicana peach lemonade. Probably ain't got no fruit juice in either one. But it's so good. It's sweet, though, man. I called my girlfriend up. She was upset. She said, you told me you never leave me. And I was like, man, I'm about to leave you about 7 years for sure. Just seen something on vehicular manslaughter, 7 years. But I didn't do that shit intentionally, man. I didn't want no part of that. Then I called my homeboys up. They was at my house. And I was like, hey, man, y'all need to come get the vehicle. I just ran this dude over. He's like, oh, man, quit playing around. Man, that's not even funny. Ha, ha, ha. And then they'll tell you, man, we knew that dude was real when we heard a woman say, hey, the cops are here. I was like, damn. I got I got to face the music for the stuff I've done. Well, you always got to face the music. That running thing, it just ain't where it's at. So I walked outside, folks. There was so many lights. My whole peripheral, everything I could see was lit up. There was a couple Onslow County Sheriff's Department. There was a couple JPDs. Don't even know why they were out there. A couple of ambulances and a couple volunteer fire department people. And I forgot to tell you, I just took some mushrooms like 20 minutes before I left. Before I even knew I was going to go. I had cut them up and put them in some raviolis. They were nasty. And I was hoping that I can get one of those fake batches. We pay $80 a quarter and nothing happens. That wasn't the case. Man, I walked out there and them lights hit. And it was so pretty. I mean, it really was pretty. And I walked up to one of the officers, and I was like, "Hey, I ran this dude over." And they was like, "Okay, well, just sit right there." I could have got away or whatever. You gotta wait for the highway patrolman to show up. I don't never do this exercise right here, but you should. So, do some face pull. Thumbs should be like this, and then you want them to be pointing to the back with your elbows down. Really squeeze. So I sat up on it. No, I don't know how long it was. It could have been forever. It could have been a minute. Watching them lights. Thinking about how long I'm about to be in prison and how pretty them lights were at the same time. And there was something I didn't think about. So the state trooper finally comes. I hand him my driver's license. We're walking back. And he's parked. We got to pass all these emergency vehicles to get to his cop car. And folks, right in the middle of it, that dude was still in the damn ground. And when I said he was convulsing, I mean like this. I'm like, "Hey man, what in the hell? Why is he still here?" And I was like, "Hey man, if he lives now, it's different. It's a different charge, and I shouldn't even be in trouble anyway." But I mean, if you could save this dude, you gotta save him. They wasn't saving him, and the dude was like, "No, don't touch him. They got the thing." And no, hell no, man. And it really upset me because I don't want to go to damn prison. I already know I'm in trouble. I could, for what I do, I can take the responsibility for it. But shit I don't do, man, I don't want that rap. So we ended up going, man. And I was like, "Man, we should really help. Oh, it's okay. It's okay." When we get to his cruiser, he got a black dude in the front seat in plain clothes. And I was like, "What's that?" Thought it might have been undercover or something. A detective. Nah. Come to find out. So I go, we get it. He puts me in the back of the cruiser. He has my driver's license. And he picks up he's got it like this, like he's about to call it in. And he turns around and says, "Have you been drinking tonight?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "You willing to take a breathalyzer?" I said, "Yes, sir." Okay, so he gave me the breathalyzer, and I blew zeros. He's still holding my driver's license. And I was like, "Look, officer, I don't know what happened, man. I really don't. I was driving to go pick up my buddy who was drunk, who didn't want to drink and drive. So I'm going to get him, and I hit something, man. I turn around, and there's a dude in the road. He says, "I understand." He says, "I need you to write a statement." I said, "That is a statement." He said, "Well, I need you to write it down." So I write it down. Give him the paper back. he asked the dude, he said, man, you want to tell me what happened tonight? He said, yeah, man, I threw a party. Invited a bunch of my friends and stuff, and I invited my homeboy right out there. And he had just gone through a little breakup and stuff with his girlfriend. So I told him to come on out and have a good time and stuff. He said, what I didn't know, his girlfriend was going to show up to my party with another dude. And they had words. She cold dissed him in front of him. And he was pissed. He couldn't do nothing about it. So he said he had enough of this shit. Took off running towards the road. Dude said he started after him. Reached out and grabbed him right before he got the road. Grabbed him by the shirt, pulled, but the shirt ripped and made him like kind of sling forward a little faster, and he ran right into that dude's vehicle. My brain was having a hard time computing what that man just said. I said, what'd you say? The officer put his hand up like this. And he said, yeah, he ran out in front of him. Said he didn't want to live no more. So the officer said, so in your own eyes, whose fault is it? He said, it's obviously my man. He ran out in front of that dude. The dude was just minding his business, I'm sure. I said, man, you trying to tell me that dude tried to commit suicide? Is that what you're trying to say? All the damn people on God's green earth, this dude ran out in front of me? That's not cool, man. That is not cool. He need me to finish the job? I mean, what the hell is the deal? And you know, when you listen to the story, you do know on the other end of the story, there's a guy that's telling the story about how he got ran over. If he tells people that, because he felt like he had enough because he seen that girl with another guy or whatever the hell happened. I've looked in the paper. I never found it. Didn't know who he was. There's too many medical people that was out there not to have a whole bunch of medical, a whole bunch of reports. You know what I mean? Because they were out there. I always wondered what happened with that dude, man. Nothing else, or how even, because the only thing that was wrong with the tracker, it had a perfect, like an elbow indentation. Looks like a little hole. Looks like a golf ball got stuck in it. Man, my shoulder's on fire. Excuse me, folks. I was pissed. Man, you mean to tell me? Nah, man, hold up. This ain't even cool. I'm thinking I'm about to go to jail. This dude's trying to kill himself, man. Come on, man. This shit ain't right. I get to sue him? I was mad. I need to get out of this cop car, too. But the officer was like, look, here's your driver's license. So he never checked. I blew zeros on the breathalyzer. I don't know if I told you that. I filled out the statement. He said, look, Mr. Jakowski, are you okay? Can you drive home? I said, yes, sir. I'll be all right. I only live right down the road. I'm just going to go home. Not even going to deal with this ordeal anymore. This is enough. Sad that it had to happen. He was like, oh, yeah, I've seen way worse than this. And blah. I said, man, you ever have it happen to you? You know, I've been sitting here thinking I'm about to go to prison for killing a man. But this man actually turned out was trying to kill himself. I want you to think about that. And I didn't do anything wrong. said, look, Mr. Uchikowski, you have a good day. So I was like, hell yeah. So I run over to the vehicle, and no cars, it seemed like no cars came by. I went to the gas station, and Pat's dad, Kelly, pulled up right behind me and was like, you all right? And I was like, yes, sir. He goes, well, let me check the vehicle out. And he seen that one little thing, and he goes, man, that's pretty crazy. You actually ran a dude over. How do you feel? And I was like, man, I don't know. So, kind of sucks. I don't want to risk no harm on nobody, especially you ain't did nothing to me. I don't wish harm on nobody, because you done the level. I'd rather do it myself. We can fight and get it over with, squash. Because most people know that about me, we just don't have problems. Man, I tell you what, I was 18 years old, scared as hell. Couldn't imagine ever having this happen. You know what I mean? And I've had close calls where I almost hit people that they, staggering drunk in the middle of the highway going 55. And, at that speed, you got to react fast. I've almost been ran over a bunch of times walking on the highway. I was a streetwalker as a kid on country roads. And a few times I've had to jump in ditches. I'm pretty sure that people tried to hit me. We used to always say, like, you get 25 points for running over and stuff. It was always a joke. But a few times I think people took it too far, or had people throw stuff at me. I probably walked 1,000,000 miles as a kid on many different roads. I mean, it's just one of the ways that I coped. It was always I considered exercise as a therapeutic. Even probably since 10 years old, knew that was the way to go. Man, I don't wish that on nobody. And it's more so you worry about the person that it happened to. You know what I mean? I didn't even want that dude to have a headache caused by me, much less him running out in a vehicle that I'm going 40-something miles an hour in, 47 miles an hour in. It's never worth it. And it's not worth to quit on life. It's always, everything, even when things seem the worst, it's only bad now. It's horrible right now. But everything that's always been horrible in life, and once you live long enough, you always got through that. You know what I mean? So not anything is more detrimental to your life than the things that you've already went through in your past. They just seem a little bit harder, or you just getting damn tired of it. But sometimes you got to cut that tired out. Don't cut you out. Cut the tired out. Whatever the hell the tired is. Most of the time, it's choices. People, places, and things, lifestyles. That's where normally the hang up is. Could be a job. It could be a relationship. It could be going over your friend's house that you're going to get high at. You're going to do something stupid at. And instead of being able to cope with yourself, you go and choose that. And something bad happens. You got to learn to make that choice not to. Learn to live with yourself. When you learn to live with yourself, life is easy, man. And you'll always have somebody that comes in and disrupts it. There will always be a hater. Be prepared for them. Be prepared. Don't let nobody be able to come into your inner space and take your inner peace. Fight them. It's better to go to jail than to die. That's my philosophy. That's what I live by. And that's for me and you. I'll beat your ass so you don't hurt me, and then I'll beat your ass to save your life. Because I know it's worth it. If I'm dealing with you in that aspect, it's worth it. And I know you're worth it. Look, man, I appreciate you walking with me. I got a bunch of more crazy stories. This is one I wish not on anybody. If you are running from the cops, I got a few stories things that have happened while I was running. Consider turning yourself in. It's never too late to do the right thing, and sometimes they have compassion, and sometimes you're going to get nailed, but you have to live with the consequences, and don't start a new life and have the old life catch up with you, because you're going to lose both, and it won't be worth it. And God forbid, you ain't got to be nice to the cops. Just don't be, you don't have to be nasty. You should always try to be kind and nice and considerate to everybody. Everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day and staying safe. If you can, hit that like button for me. Share the video. Subscribe if you haven't.